spinner. That's Brad Keselowski going around.
This could be ugly.
Back up across the track. Big damage. A number of cars collected. Dave Blaney, Greg Biffle.
Yeah, man, whenever
And
you
the
see a
Biffle
car
machine
coming
on
back across
fire.
a racetrack like that, you know it's going to be a bad deal.
Travis Quapple nowhere to go.
Oh, yeah, he got tagged by Kurt Busch, went down on the apron. When he came back up on the racetrack, he got into the left rear of Brad. Nothing Brad could do. Like you said, at that point, Brad's for the ride. Go.
And it is a very harsh transition. We saw it during some of the qualifying laps. A harsh transition from the flat up to the race, back up onto the racetrack.
Keep your arm at 51. Don't get too far out ahead.
No green, white checker. White flag in the air.
Oh, they crashed.
Crash
A little
behind them.
push. Just go with it.
The
Correct.
caution is going to
At the
come
right.
out. It looks
Just
as
stay in the gas a little bit.
is going to win
Wait,
this
to the
race
right.
at Daytona. And again, they just took the white flag. The leader took the white flag, and Jeff Agnew in the 27 gets down on the apron, shoots back up the racetrack.
Yeah, James Buescher got in the back of him, turned him down to the apron. NASCAR, no choice but to throw the caution. You got trucks sliding sideways in the middle of the track. And when you have that situation, you've got to have safety. And the trucks had crossed the start-finish line. Kyle Busch, I think, was licking his chops, thinking he had Johnny Sauter right where he wanted him.
Well, as you see the 07 of Ray Black Jr., there's Caesar coming to pit road. Tires flat on that race.
That handling would not be as big of an issue, but right there, you know, 3 wide at this racetrack, it's not like Talladega. Talladega 3 wide's easy. At this racetrack, it's much more difficult.
Well, listen, why do we make such a big deal about the 2 losing positions? Because that's the 2 of Tyler Reddick just outside the 90. He gets lucky to get through that. As you see the 90 spin, collects the 22, the 00 got lucky. It is clear. The safest place to be, there's no safe place.
Trouble. Backstretch, Mike Wallace. He hit a ton.
The monster was at 4.
Yeah, if you think my scoring has been on a fair scale.
Yeah, that's a tough hit too.
We're wrecked. We're going to the garage area. It's destroyed.
Hey, look. Yeah, I was going to say it looked like maybe from the first angle that we had that Casey had made that move to the inside, and maybe they just kind of met there, but not sure about that.
See the safer barrier wall moves?
Yeah.
That makes a big difference for the drivers and how hard that hit is.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one.
See right here, the 38's coming down to change lanes. There isn't room. He comes across the front bumper of the 15, spins him to the bottom, and it's the field very tight. You see farther back into the field, the 16 and the 10 get into the back, and the 22 spinners up across the track. And that's what happens in these tight packs. When there's a spin way up in front of the pack, everyone gets out of the gas, and it's so hard when you're only a couple feet apart. Another hard impact there with the 32 and the 38.
One in the wall.
Trevor Bayne.
Oh,
Good grief.
just put the fastest lap up on the board.
What the heck happened, guys?
That looks like I don't know if he got loose and then it went in the wall, if he blew a right front tire and went in with the nose. That looks like one of those incidents where it started to come around just based on the back end of that car. That's usually where it made initial contact.
Pretty normal entry.
Yeah, this is him coming in. It turns in pretty shallow. So that was not the case. It's nothing. And unfortunately, we just don't have a good view of it. But it's obvious the back of the car came around, made contact, then swung the front end of the around into the wall.
Looked like it went in.
He's way out in front there, and you see the car around, and he was pretty far up the racetrack at that moment.
I think what he did, he went in a little hard, and the car just got on the right front, pivoted, and headed to the wall.
On the back straightaway, Reed Sorensen gets turned around and gets nailed by Travis Pastrana. Sorensen gets up in the air for a moment. Oh, and Pastrana takes a hellacious sledgehammer hit to the safer barrier. Bounces off the barrier, down the banking, down into the infield. A hard crash for Reed Sorensen and Travis Pastrana on the back straightaway.
Oh my, it's almost the same thing we saw with Danica Patrick. Wrong place, wrong time for Pastrana.
Yeah, definitely. He tried to go down to avoid it because the 43 car initially went to the outside. He hits the wall a ton right there. It doesn't maybe look like a lot to the viewers at home, but that's a really hard hit. He turned and there was.
Oh boy, David Reagan.
Wow, right at the end of practice. What happened?
Ouch. Oh boy.
Good.
That's a hard hit.
That started right there just before he actually got to the corner. Looked like he hit the wall a little bit as he got down there too, turn 3.
Oh.
You see the car coming down the back straightaway, and it looked like something flew out from under it when he got down to the end of the straightaway there.
The spinner, Justin Lofton, loses it back in the back.
And around goes the 6 of Lofton.
What a great job by Brendan Newberry not running into him.
Pretty wide, man.
And James Busher.
We have to do it again. Taking a look from Brad Keselowski's vantage point.
Just got pushing off turn to the same time as the wreck happened behind him. Look at the job that Max Gresham does to sneak by Wallace. 3 wide, racing it sharp, late and going. You know, we've seen people give and take, but there's no give and taking anymore. John West Talley was on the outside of Justin Lofton. Justin just got in a by in there. But look at the job those 3 trucks did. A little bit of contact by Newberry, but the job Busher did on the top, Gresham on the bottom.
Ball goes the 8 of Blake Cook. Also involved the 44 of David Starr. A lot of damage to the back end of the 8 of Cook. The 2 cars were running 23rd and 24th.
Those 2 guys fighting for the spot, getting into turn 1. You saw them make a little bit of contact, and then the 8 was on the bottom. You know, that's a compromising position because you have all the air sucked off your car, kind of pulls you around, but there was contact before it ever started getting loose.
Yeah, Blake Cook turned to the bottom of David Starr in the 44, and it looks like he just got free on entry.
All of these drivers are in a secure qualifying. Oh, there no! You go. Hard, 1 car into the wall, and that's Carl Edwards.
Or is that Carl?
Wow. Regan Smith gets tagged. Denny Hamlin involved.
At this point, oh, Hamlin looks like Hamlin got loose first. Not sure why. Have to look at it again.
But he definitely got loose and came down into Carl Edwards' right rear quarter panel.
Let's see if we can get a better look here.
Now that's Michael Waltrip alongside Carl.
Oh, the 11 he's just spinning out. He gets loose and starts to spin.
Yeah, he got no help from the 21 whatsoever. He just got loose, it looked like.
Now further back was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
NASCAR reminded Brad Keselowski, we need a clean start out of you. And as he gets a clean start, they bottle up behind him. The 1 of Jamie McMurray.
Caution, 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 caution.
See a lot of damage to both the front and the rear of that 1 of McMurray.
Vicious crash. Scott's car turned up into the outside wall in turn number 4 hard.
Yeah, it looked like he'd been struggling with his car. He'd lost a couple of spots. Looked like he might have gotten really loose. He was running 6 at the time. Right side of the screen. We had a car on the outside. That literally sucks your car around. You can see. Man, that's a hard hit. And that was Trevor Bain that had gone around the outside of Brian Scott, and it just really literally pulls the back end of your car around right there. You see he's trying to save it. Oh, wow. Man, that had to hurt.
Oh, there it is. The best car we thought all day long in a bump drafting mistake just went into the wall.
Number of big cars taken out in what is our 3rd big crash of the afternoon.
Approaching the 1, gives him a little bump, knocks him out of whack.
Even when these cars are square, they're just so light in the back that everything has to be absolutely perfect or it causes another big wreck.
Just that easy to take the most dominant car of the day and crunch it up. And look at William Byron. You talked about him.
Oop. Oh, we got a crash.
Crash. Big. Well, yeah, it started to get big.
Oh, it's big now.
It got big.
Another big one in turns 1 and 2 at Daytona.
Gets down to the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to find a hole through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Evans goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
Oh, got a crash. David Starr involved. Hard hit into the wall. The 55 of Jeffrey Earnhardt, our 7th yellow of the day.
All right, that's a shame for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Hard crash for he and David Starr. Brendan and got him loose and then just tried to squirt by.
Well, it looked like Brendan came up in front of him.
And then I think Bubba just tried to gas it up and get by Brendan before he hit him, and I think that made...
See Brendan come across to the left.
And listen to, here right there, he just tried to give it gas to get away from Brendan and got loose and spun out.
Get a look at it right here, you can see, whoa, it really gets loose. A fast part of the track as you're exiting, trying to get, wow, look at the car get up in the air.
Man, that's a violent hit.
That's a tire wall over there in front of the guardrail that you hit, and you could see that it just sent the car.
Take a look one more time, and thank goodness there was a tire barrier here.
Yeah, you could see him coming out of turn 9 wide open in the throttle, but there is a tire barrier in front of the guardrail there. But look at it, send the car airborne and back out in front of other cars.
Whoa, and the 18 of Drew Herring. He had 2 lucky dogs tonight. He's not so lucky right now as he is our first caution.
That was ridiculous.
Due to accident.
You okay, bud? Good, let me know.
That's kind of a weird angle. I don't know what happened. That's at the end of the back straightaway.
Here, just a little bit at a time, little bit at a time.
Here. See the red car just up ahead. I don't know if he got clipped by, I can't tell which car that was, or whether he just spun in front of him.
Yeah, possibly Mike Bliss.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from that one. It's in progress. That's a hard lick, though.
So our third caution of